We're up to day 12 of our 90-day challenge to read through the entire New Testament. It's been great reading the comments at the end of the day that people have been leading. Keep them coming. Today we were looking at Mark chapters 7, 8 and 9. And Jesus addresses the Pharisees in chapter 7, and this theme has been speaking personally to me quite loudly of late. See, Mark, along with all of the gospel writers, highlight how Jesus is often upset with the Pharisees. And in chapter 7, the Pharisees question Jesus why his disciples don't ceremonially wash their hands, which was a tradition, a religious tradition in those times. And so the Pharisees and the teachers of the law ask Jesus, why don't your disciples follow our age-old traditions? They eat without first performing the hand-washing ceremony. And Jesus replied, you hypocrites, Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you, for he wrote, these people honour me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship is a farce, for they teach man-made ideas as commands from God. For you ignore God's law and substitute your own tradition. Hand washing was meant to be symbolic of washing off the ritual impurities that one might have engaged with while being at the market. And interestingly, hand washing wasn't even an Old Testament law, but was developed in between the writings of the Old Testament and the New Testament. So here the Pharisees are accusing Jesus' disciples of being ritually unclean, but Jesus points out that it's actually them who are unclean because they've followed their own traditions over God's laws. They're the hypocrites. When people fake religious devotion, or when they bend God's word to justify the way that they want to live, then it's hypocrisy, no matter who they are. Jesus hates hypocrisy. And when people sink into hypocrisy, Jesus isn't going to simply stand by and pretend with them that actually everything's okay and that they are living a righteous life. So what do you and I do with these harsh words of Jesus? Well, firstly, we've got to ask ourselves if we are guilty of the sin that Jesus condemns. After all, in one way of viewing things, aren't we, the religious ones today, like the people questioning Jesus were back then? If we're guilty, then let's change and put our lives where our mouths are. Second, we need to be not so bashful or cautious with each other when hypocrisy creeps into our lives. We need to lovingly and humbly come to each other and help each other to identify and correct any hypocrisy. Because hypocrisy destroys our heart and it ruins the influence of Jesus' people in the world.